So you've just finished installing your Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights and your house looks amazing. Well, the question is, how do you now control them and really customize what they can do through the Govee app? Well, in this video, we're going to be doing that, showing you how to go from beginner steps, getting them set up and turned on like you want them to become an expert to making your own effects and using effects others have already created. Let's get started. Okay, first thing, we're gonna head right into the Govee Home app, and you should already have connected your lights right in here. So here we have our lights. If you can't find it, you may be on one of these other tabs down here. So all you need to do is tap the Home tab at the very beginning, and there you will see your lights. You can also organize different lights into different rooms. So you can create like an outdoor room and then put it in there and it will show up under here as well. But here, this is the only light that we have, and we have the option to easily turn it on and off. So there we can simply turn off and turn back on, and that works. And here it's giving us a pop-up where you can create different routines to automatically turn off all your devices. We'll get to that later. So we're just gonna tap on the device right here, and here we have our Permanent Lights Pro. Now this actually is very similar with all the Govee lights, so no matter what you have, this most likely will work for you. So first off, we have the option to adjust the brightness. So here it's at 100, and we can turn it down and dim it pretty low, and then we can go all the way back up. So if any of them are a little too bright, you can easily change that down. Now here on the screen, you'll see this little green icon. That's your snapshot button. So at any time, if you create something, you can push that and it will save what you see, but we'll have to just move that out of the way for now. And then right on this screen, you also have the option to turn off the lights and turn them back on. And then here you have the timer. So this is the easiest way to automatically have your lights turn on and off. So right now we have it set where every day they're going to turn on at 5:30 p.m. And then here every day at 11:59 p.m. they're going to turn off. And it's just going to turn them on to the scene that you recently set them to, and then turn them off as well. So very simple, easy to do. Now, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is adjust the color. So here we have a bunch of tabs on how you can change the color. So the first one is as simple as what color you want that. So right now we have the different color temperatures, so the nice white. So right now it's at a warm white, and we can go up to a more cool white or super warm. So as you can see, as soon as I change it here, it changes it on the house. Then down here, you have the basic colors already set, so you can go through and choose whichever color you want as you are playing with this and finding colors you like. And then down here, we have the color wheel, so it's going to give us the option to choose any color that we want, and it's going to set that to the house. And we can go through and we have these other lumen blend colors that look really nice, and you have the color gradient wheel and so on. So those are kind of your basics. Now, if you want to change different sections of the lights at a time, you can do that as well. So up here, we're selected on the whole light, so all the lights. Here we have subsection. It's going to just select a few at a time. So we can just grab a few of the first ones here, and then we can go down and choose what brightness we want them to be at, and we can choose the color that they're going to be. So those are going to be red. And then we can go through and, oh, there was even an invert selection. That's really nice. So if you choose some and you want to invert it, you can push that button, it will do it. So here we can choose white on these ones. And then there you can see that we now have kind of a candy cane on some of the ones that we have selected. So very quickly, I've adjusted the color of lights. And then if we want to change them all, we can select those and choose a color, and it's going to change them all back and so on. And then you have a bunch of other tools here that you can use to, recommended color schemes and the color wheel and even more segmented lights. So pretty cool. Then we have this Vibrance section where it's then going to choose these different colors that really pop, and you can go through and adjust any of those that you want to give them more vibrance to the home. So there you can choose colors that you like to have, and you can even save those to My Colors if you really like that set of colors. Now, the quickest way to adjust what you see is through the scenes. So scenes are pre-configured scenes that Govee has already created, so you don't have to do it. So here we have the natural selection of options, so we can just tap forest, and now you have a nice forest scene. So it's gonna play an animation, they're gonna be different colors, and all of these are going to be slightly different. So there are, about 100 different ones you have here. Festival is where you're gonna go to for your different holidays. So it's Christmas right now, so we can tap the Christmas. And some of these maybe look like the holiday or they don't, but you can go in and adjust these, and we'll get to how you can create your own later. So again, tap here, Christmas tree. Here we have one called Christmas gift and one called sled. And then you have a bunch of Halloween options, Easter options, and throughout all of the year. Let's see, this birthday one is pretty fun. Yeah, that looks great on the house. And so we don't have to do anything. It is now set to that. The timer will go off, and tomorrow when it turns on, it will automatically go back to the scene that we have set. Again, there are tons of options here. We have life, we have emotion. So here we can choose the Dreamland. I think that one is pretty fun. Now in all of these, you can tap the little pencil icon and you can choose the color that it is using. So if you don't like the default colors, you can go through and choose that, and you can change the speed. If the animation is too slow or too fast, you can go through and select which one you want, and then it will be there. And then you can collect that as a new custom scene. So let's make this fast. Tap collect, and now we have saved that as one of our scenes that we like. And then at the very end of the scenes, you have all kinds of different options that Govee is currently promoting. Like here we have a Miami Dolphin scene. You even have Zootopia 2. And if you find any of these that you really like, when you tap that little edit icon and you find the color you love, you can tap collect, and that's going to save it into your collections, or most of us would say favorites. So if we go over here to the collection at the beginning of the scenes, you can then see those different ones that you have collected so that you can easily get to your favorites instead of having to scroll through all of these options each time. So that is how you can do all the scenes. So that's controlling all lights, and then we also have the option to control lights separately. So if you want different segments to be on different things, you can do that. Wow, this is really cool. So we can go through here, we can choose those first three to be on Dreamland, and then we can choose the next two and go over to Festival and be on Sled, and now we have multiple scenes set to our house. I didn't know it could do that. That is actually very neat that we can do that all on one home. So it's just taking our 200 feet of lights that we've set up and segmenting them out to 5 different segments. And you can even go in here and you can choose exactly what you want your segments to be. All right, that's pretty cool. That's pretty advanced, but very cool that you have the option to do that. So then we can go back to control all lights, and we can set one of these, and now we have all the lights back to our same. Next, we have the option for illuminations. So this is just the section with the different whites that you have. So, you know, if this was indoor, you would have relaxed lighting, reading lighting, work lighting, but this still works for outside. The relaxed lighting, it dims the brightness a little bit, sets it to a nice warm, and then you can see each of these changes it a little bit. So if you just want some nice illumination during the summer, you have that option, and you can go through and customize all of those. Now we have the music option. So built into the controller of this is a microphone. So if you have a speaker nearby, you can play music and this is going to bounce to that music, or you have the option to choose music from your mobile device and then it will play based on what you are playing. So here I have some music playing on my phone, and if we go back here, we can adjust the sensitivity and then we can change what the effect is doing. So right now this is the party effect. Here we have dynamic. And here we have calm. And it's just selecting its auto color. We can turn that off and go through and choose some of our favorite colors that we might want to have displayed as well. So really fun to have that. You can make some really cool looking designs. Later on, we can show you how to do that, but nice that you have that music option. And depending on the beat of your music, it might adjust and display a little bit differently what kind of song you have. Now, if you don't want to go through the steps to create your own custom effects, you can go to what is called share space. So right here, the share space is a bunch of other users that have the Govee lights and have gone through and created some really fun effects. So if I want to see what these users down here have created, all I need to do is tap on it. We can see a little video of what they have created. And you think, oh, that's awesome, I want that on my house. I hit apply. It then instantly applies that effect right to your Govee lights, and you now have a house that looks just like theirs. Well, at least the lights look just like theirs, and very simple and easy to do that. Now, you can go through here and find all kinds of these. You have the option to search for anything you want. So let's go ahead and search for Christmas, and you can see a bunch of other Christmas options. Here's another one. You can star it, you can comment on it, you can like it. You know, it's kind of a community building these awesome different lighting scenes. And again, we can tap apply. You can even follow a user and go and see what else they've created if you like some of their scenes. and so on. And if you like this, you can also share it with a family member. Tapping the share button, you can then let others know what scene you found and what you like, and they could apply it to their home very easy. And that is the share space. Really fun, cool, and easy to apply those effects that others have created. Now under share space, if you do apply any of these to your home and you want to save that, when you go back, you can also tap the snapshot button and then give it a name, and that will save it to your home so that you can easily go back to it later. So here we can type red and green, save, and then when we go back to our different more options, snapshot list, there we have the red, green, and we can easily apply that and it will still have the animations and everything. Next, let's go to the DIY. So DIY allows you to create your own custom effects that you could then share with ShareSpace, or you can just use and make your house look unique versus everyone else. So this part can get very in-depth, but we'll try and keep it simple. So down here we have the option to add a new effect. So here we have all of the lights that we have on our house that we can individually select, or we can go up here and we can choose a combo, which allows you to do multiple effects in a row, which is really cool. So we're gonna do simple. Here we have the effect we want to choose. So we can just draw the effect that's gonna happen. We can do gradient from one color to the next. You have a bunch of gradient options there. You can do jumping. You have twinkle, so if you want them to flash. Then here we have the marquee, 1, 2, 3. We can do chasing. You have rainbow, and then you have spin. So is how you're gonna have to figure this out is kind of just do them one at a time. We're gonna go ahead and choose the chasing one. That's going to be our main effect. And then you're gonna choose the colors that you want to apply to that. So you can go through and cancel some of these colors that you may not want. There we just have a simple set of colors, and we can then adjust the speed of what it's going to do. So you can have it be slower, and then we can test it out by tapping apply, and we can see how that looks on the house. If we want to make an adjustment, we can just do it here. Let's say we want to add a little bit more color in there. We want to increase the speed, tap apply, and boom, we now have our own custom effect that we have created. Now you can also go in here and they're going to recommend some different themes or scenes that you have. You have options for random colors, different contrasting colors. And then here we can do smart color picking. So you can actually choose a photo that you have and it will take colors from that photo and do that. And you can also go through and create your own custom colors that you always have available to choose. So that's pretty much it. If you want to try a different effect, you can go in here. Let's choose gradient, tap apply. And now you have the gradient option showing up on the house. And let's say we do the marquee. And that looks pretty good, but maybe it's a little too fast for us. So we're gonna slow it down and tap apply. And now you can see what that looks like. So I like how very simple that is to create your own custom scenes. Now I can go into the combo section, and is what this allows me to do is I can have it do one scene, and then as soon as it's done with that scene, it's gonna go to a different one. So let's say we have the gradient here. Then after gradient, I want it to do the chasing scene. Then after the chasing scene, I want it to do the, let's do jumping scene. So it's gonna jump half one, half the other. Those are the colors it's going to use, and I tap apply, and now we can see that is running. So first we have the gradient. Once it goes through all the colors, then it's gonna go through the chasing. And then as it goes through all the colors there, then it's gonna go to the jumping effect. So instead of just one simple scene that you have on your home for the entire night, you can go through and create this effect where it then gradually changes through these different scenes. Once you have made your scene, you can tap save, and now that has been saved into your effects. We can give it a name. We're gonna call this one crazy. Tap confirm, save. Then if we go back, now under the DIY tab, we have our own custom effect that we have created, which is really nice that it's right there. Now, when you finish creating your own effect, you can also share this with ShareSpace so others can use it. So you just tap the share icon at the top. It will ask you to become a savvy user to be able to do this. You can quickly sign up and agree. And then here we have the option to upload a video of our effect to show what it looks like. We can add a description, add tags, allow for others to edit, and then you can make it public for others to see. You also have the option to copy this effect to then just change a few parameters so you don't have to recreate the entire thing. So you can tap the copy icon right there. Yes, it's been copied, and we can go back here, and then we have the option to edit our new copy of crazy. So we can tap the edit icon there and go in, make those adjustments and save. Now next, let's go to the finger sketch. This is one of my favorite things is because sometimes I just want a simple layout of colors and I don't want to have to choose different scenes, flashing lights, or have it be sectioned off. I want individual lights to be colored. So one of my favorites is a nice warm white. So we're gonna go in here to the white and we're gonna go through and find the warm white color that we like right there. Then we're gonna choose the other color that we want down here. So we can choose a fill color. So I like to have a white and red color. And then we can go through and here are all the 200 lights that we have on our house. So this does take some time, but you can go through and individually select every other. And I've already missed, I've already missed what I wanted. So it's okay, you can quickly go back, but we're gonna go through. This is gonna take me just a minute and we're gonna choose every 2 lights here. And anytime if you wanna go back to the other color that you had selected, and then go through and fix where you messed up. So just give me a minute, I'll be right back. Now, as I'm going through this, one of the things you can do is if you want to just draw, you can just simply select like that. If you mess up, you do have the option to do undo. So I probably should have done that on some of these over here. We also have the paintbrush, which is going to remove everything. So we're not going to do that right now, but I'm going to keep going. Okay, so we have now made our red and white color, and then we do have some animation options down here where you can have it move in a clockwise pattern, counterclockwise, cycle, kind of jumping back and forth. You have a gradient, you have the twinkle, or you have the breathe, and then the speed. But if you just want it to be the stagnant color, you're going to turn the speed all the way down, and now we have this set. So to save this so that you can easily go back to it, you just tap the little green snapshot button. So that's the one that was floating around and is around your screen somewhere. We're gonna tap it and we're gonna call this red, white. And I'm gonna add double in there just so I know it's 2 by 2. And now that has been saved to our profile. So if I wanna go through, let's say I wanna create another one. We're just gonna make this simple. We're gonna have all these be red and we're gonna have all these be green. And you could go through and do, the gables or different parts of your home a specific color so it looks nice. But that's another option. We could call this one red, green and save that. And then one more option is you could go through and maybe just at the top of the gables you want it lit up. You could go through and have all the lights off. So I can turn all the lights off right here as my background. I can clear it and then I'm gonna choose the white. And you would go outside and you would kind of find the lights that you want lit up for maybe the corner for your security lighting or your accent lighting. You can choose every other or just a couple ones. And then you can have this nice, simple accent lighting all over the house. And then when we're done, we can save that one as well and just call it accent white. So now that we have those saved, let me show you how you can get back to those. So if you tap on the More tab, then under here you have your snapshot list. So you tap on there and there are the scenes that we have created. We can easily tap the red, white double and boom, we have those back. They're not lost. We don't have to recreate that. If we want the red and green, we can tap that and then it has now added that, or we can go back to the accent light. So I like how we can simply then apply these after we have saved them. So that is your snapshot list. And again, that was after doing the finger sketch. That's where we can go through and color exactly what light bulb we want to be what. And again, you have those other directions or grading options there. And then you tap the snapshot to save that. So pretty cool that you have those options. Next, we have the AI option. So this is how you can quickly create a custom scene just by using your voice. So we just need to hold and talk and say what kind of scene we want. Santa delivering presents on Christmas Eve. So now it says, I will design a warm Christmas Eve light effect inspired by Santa delivering gifts filled with cozy red and golden tones. So now it's designing the lighting effect. And then after a minute or so, it will apply that to the home and we can see what that's like. And if we like it, we can save that as well. There you go. That looks pretty cool. So we're going to save this as Santa. I think that will work. We'll test that out in a second. And then you could also choose your own picture that you want to add and type in what you want. So that's fun to have your own AI scene. And now we have the option for more. So if we go back to the snapshot list, there we have our Santa. We can apply that, see if that worked. So there it saved the Santa scene that we had created with the AI. So really nice that we can easily go back to what we had seen. Now down here we have the other functions where we have the timer. So Like we saw earlier, we can go in and choose when it's going to turn on and off. Again, that's just for time and the current scene it's on. So every month you may want to come in, choose a new scene, and then it's just going to go that scene every time it turns on and off. You also have some other options to have it wake up to the lights to have them slowly turn on, or you can have it sleep and turn off after so long that it's been on. So nice that you have those. But here we have this autoplay, which is really cool. Is what you can do with autoplay is you can create, let's say, a scene called Christmas. And then you can go through and choose your own image, and you can choose the order it's going to play the scenes and what's happening as it's playing them over and over. But is what you can do with this is you can choose multiple scenes and have it constantly scroll through them so that it's not just one scene all night. So let's say I want to add all of the different Christmas scenes that we have here. So up here I have the 4 Christmas scenes, and under there you can see that it's going to do the Christmas tree scene for 30 minutes, then it's going to change to the Christmas gift for 30 minutes, then the Christmas for 30, and sled for 30. And if you want to go in, you can choose all the way up to 240 minutes, or you could have it be as low as 5 minutes on there. So it's nice that it's constantly changing and you don't have to be fiddling with it in the app to adjust what is showing up on your house throughout the evening. So we have all those. We tap the check mark. There you can see those are the lighting effects it's going to use. We can have it choose random order or sequential, where it's going to go through one at a time. And then here we can have it loop, continuously play the last, or turn the lights off after it's finished. So here, after 2 hours, it could turn them off, or we're just gonna have it start over back to the original scene and go through. I think that's really nice that you don't have to have the same scene on your house all night long. You can go through and choose those to do. So if you want that enabled, you just need to turn it on here, and now it's going to start that scene, and then after 30 minutes, go to the next one, and so on. Now, if we go back into our list here, we can also see that our DIY effects are there, so the ones that we have created, as well as the snapshot scenes. So you don't have to have just the scenes that were automatically created. We can go in and add one of our red and green scenes and our red white double as well, so that we have some simple static scenes on there as well, instead of just animation throughout the night. Really nice that everything that we have done is being able to be utilized throughout the entire app. Now down here you have some other options for fun lighting, where you can go through and look at the effects lab. You have workshop, color chest, rainbow color, and light up your life. I think those might be needed to be fully looked at in another video, but it's as simple as they've chosen some colors that work together. You can go in here and simply select it, and it will choose those colors for your house. Down here you even have some different sports teams. So under NHL, you can see the colors they're using. If you tap on a color, it's then going to add it to like one of your favorite colors. So you can easily select it the next time you're adjusting an effect for colors. So then here under workshop, you can go through and kind of create your own effect. There's a lot of things that you can do in here. I'm not exactly sure on all that can be done here, but there's a lot of adjustments that can be made to make your own custom effect there. The next one is cool. You have color chest, so you can specifically choose the RGB color ratio that you want. So if you're looking for the exact color there, you can see we're at 0 red, 0 blue, and we have full green. So that's nice to find the specific color that you would like. And you have the hex code that you can choose as well, if that's how you want to choose your color, and you can save it to your colors at the bottom. Here you have the option to choose a completely random color. That's great. Sometimes it's just nice to choose whatever. And then here we have the option for light up your life, where there's some different emotions, and you can go through and see the colors that are there. And as we apply them, you can see what that does. And you have more emotional festival and daily scenes that can work together. Now, one other big thing you can do is called Music Dream View, how you can connect all your lights together and have them work together. I have a full video on this that I'll link at the end. And then down here, you have the option to see how you can create a group of your different lights to have them be on the same pattern at the same time, which is really cool. But we're gonna go back to show you how to create more custom automations. So if we go into this tab right here, which is the kind of shortcuts tab, we have this auto run option. And under auto run, you can do more advanced automations like sunset and sunrise and certain times of the year. So here we have timer that we've kind of already seen how that works, that we have set. That's already working from the main page. But if you want to go through and create a sunset timer, we can then have the evening, we can turn this on, and at sunset, we can have it automatically turn the lights on. So in the evening, at sunset, and it will need to know your location. It'll probably give you a prompt to do that. You can also change it from at sunset to before sunset, and you can have it be like, let's do 15 minutes before sunset, confirm. Then we're gonna have this every day of the week, and we're gonna choose what lights we want it to turn on. So we have it turned on, we can have it turn off, and then we can even choose what scene we want it to play. So if we like just the simple colors that we've chosen before, we can go through and choose the colors. We can choose the scene, DIY, or our color temperature. And then over here we have some of the snapshot and sleep options. So we're gonna keep it at the color temperature, confirm, and then at sunset or 15 minutes before sunset, it's going to turn that on. And you can even have delayed actions where then after a few hours, it automatically turns those off. And we can tap save. And now there we have our evening automatically running to be able to run that without us interacting to turn it on right at sunset. So then we can go through and create our own type of this up here at the top. We can select the timer. We can even have it be a specific date. So maybe we want it to only turn on during December. We can go through and choose the specific date we want to start. And then we can go through and choose the specific date we want to end. So just December. And then we can go through and add other points that are going to happen. So here we're going to have it adjust the lights. And so here we're going to set a time. So this would be like when we want it to turn on. So we can confirm, save that. And now we have the lights turning on throughout this day. And then we would go through and create another one and have all of the lights turn off at a specific time during those same days. So you're gonna have one for on, one for off, and then it's automatically going to run. We just gotta give it a name, and then we can save. And so those are how you can create some of the more advanced automations. You can also go in here and see the different schedules that have been created and adjust those if you need to, but nice that you can have more advanced than just on at 5 and off at 12. You can go through and set the sunset and then even have certain days of the month to turn on and off. And so that is pretty much everything I know how to do in the Govee app and how you can customize your permanent outdoor lights. Now, if you have any further questions or if I went over anything and is a little too complicated still, please let me know down in the comments below and I can do a follow-up with a short or maybe a little more advanced video in the future. But if this did help you, please let me know by leaving a like down below and share this with a friend. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.